Welcome to the DJNTV Chill Room. I'm Mitch Taylor, excited to kick off this edition, our very first Chill Room here as we get started on another series for Disc Jockey News TV. I've got some great minds with me here tonight and Big Daddy. And so we're looking forward to that. And
oh, let me tell you, wait till this is over, Pally.
Today's topic is something that's near and dear to my heart. Like, this is something I spent months writing, actually. I wrote a series called Lyrics to Live Life By, and if you search that hashtag on Facebook or Insta, you'll find there's about, I think, 90 songs that I did, and Michael Lenstra did a guest edition for me, a guest writing piece on Lyrics to Live Life By, and Michael joins us here tonight as well. Michael's from Iowa, and Sean is from Wisconsin. Howie, what city or state do you hail from, Howie, again?
I am on the border of Jersey and Pennsylvania, but grew up in Jersey. Yep.
Very good. I'm from the East Coast originally myself, and of course, Big Daddy is in Connecticut. So thank you for joining us tonight, gentlemen. Appreciate that. So I did 90 songs for Lyrics to Live Life By, and songs of love, of relationships, of friendship, of mentorship, of business lessons, of personal trials and tribulations. They're all songs that affected me in different ways over the years. Is there a song that you have that has really left you with a life lesson? Is there a certain lyric that has really just touched your soul, that has affected how you move through life? Big Daddy.
Live like you were dying.
Tim McGraw.
In other words, live one day at a time, because we're not promised tomorrow.
Live Like You Were Dying was number 11 on my Lyrics to Live Life By piece from 2004. And I know Big Daddy and I go way back. Big Daddy and I have been friends for years now, and I think everyone who has come in contact with Big Daddy feels like they've known him for years as well, because of how Sean lives his life, and he lives every single day like it's his last. And Big Daddy, you've been through some things in your life, but was there a certain lyric of just the hook of that song? What is it specifically?
Basically, the hook of that song just got me. I happen to play it. Somebody asked for it at honest to God, one of my weddings as a dedication to one of their friends who had just passed away. I'd never heard it before. Tested it, I love Tim McGraw anyway, to be perfectly honest, with Humble and Kind, and, all the one he did with his wife and everything else. It's just a hook. Guys, with everything we're going through right now, and you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So live it each and every minute you have like you weren't going to have anything else. I'm blessed enough to have 5 grandkids. 6th one on the way. My life is led so that I can be alive to see them grow up, pretty much.
Love that. Big Daddy just gave us a little. He hit another lyric in my head. Does anyone know what other lyric he hit in my head when he just said what he said? Anyone? Just can't tell what tomorrow will bring.
Oh, good one.
Mm-hmm. Or Garth Brooks, If Tomorrow Never Comes.
Yeah. So Just Can't Tell What Tomorrow Will Bring. That's Amazing by Aerosmith off the Get a Grip album from 1994. Literally 10 years earlier to Tim McGraw's, exactly. And actually was Get a Grip 93, 94. I'm maybe forgetting.
94.
So regardless.
His dad had just passed away.
Yes, Tug McGraw.
Yep.
Tug McGraw was a pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, believe it or not.
But more importantly, for the New York Mets. You gotta believe, baby.
I think Howie's gonna fight you for that designation. I don't know. I think I know.
I must say, I love Tug McGraw was a person, even if he was on the other team, you just loved the guy. He was a personality. You loved him, no matter what.
Yep.
And it's interesting. I think the history that I know of this, and maybe someone knows it better than I'm sure people know it better than I, but is, Tim was not close to Tug at all. That was a strange relationship.
Yeah.
They finally ended up making whole again, or I wouldn't know if I'd say whole again, but they ended up connecting later in life. So that's an interesting dichotomy in regards to the live like you were dying portion, because there was a portion of Tim's life where he didn't know his father.
And I'll tell you what, looking at what's going on right now and everything else, you're seeing a lot more relationships that were strained, and they should be. Everything that, if you had feuds going on with somebody or this or that or the other thing, please bury them right now. Listen, I am the Peter positive of everybody in the world. I know that, and I know sometimes it's sickening, but guys, if everybody needs to be less divisive, and we all need to understand because we're not in the same boat. We're in the same storm. We're not in the same boat. So bury everything that you've had before and start fresh, because you never know. You may not be able to say you're sorry. It may be too late.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just me.
Absolutely. How about someone else? What lyric really has defined how you live your life?
I think if I had to pick one, Mitch, it would be the song "It Won't Be Like This for Long" by Darius Rucker. And it's kind of a good pivot off of "Live Like You Were Dying," because if you can keep in mind that everything is going to pass and all the things that are trouble are going to go away, but also the things that are good about your situation, some of the things that you didn't realize that you had are going to disappear too. And you're going to look back on those days and miss them and be important. And I tried to learn how to play and sing that song, and I just can't. I break down, I start crying and turn into just this little puddle, because I think about my kids and I think about everything that's happening. And it's such a strong thought to hold on to, that no matter what struggle or storm you're dealing with, it's going to go away. So look for the good in it and hold on to that, because you can't live in fear and being scared and holding on to the negative. You just gotta keep moving.
It's funny that we've touched upon two songs that certainly could fit for a father-daughter dance right off the bat. Sean and "It Won't Be Like This for Long." My sister-in-law actually used that song for her father-daughter dance. So that song rings home to me. And we also mentioned kids, or Sean mentioned kids. And I think that is, honestly, that is why we do what we do as performers, as entertainers, because we see that circle of life. I know all of you that were in this chill room right now with me on a personal level. The only one I probably haven't broke bread with, I don't think, has been Howie. Every one of you I broke bread with in some way, shape, or form over the years. And so I think it's apropos, because we all know that that's truly the circle of life, is the kids. Because, kids grow up. They grow into be teenagers. They grow into be parents. They grow into be grandparents, and it just keeps going. Michael Leinster knows a thing or two about that, don't you, sir?
Oh yeah, yep. we've had our experiences, and I can almost echo Big Daddy's sentiment there. A few years ago, I saw one of my neighbors out babysitting his grandkids, and I said, as I walked by, I said, "You got the short straw this weekend, huh?" He said, "What?" I said, "You got the short straw." And he said, "Why is that?" I'm like, "You're doing the babysitting this weekend?" He said, "Oh no." He said, If I had known how much fun grandkids were, I would have had them first."
I like that.
It's perspective.
Yep. So we have one one grandchild right now, which is pretty fun. As lyrics go, Mitch, and I don't know if this is something to live life by, but it's just something that always stuck with me. Is remember the Green Day song from a few years back, "Good Riddance, Time of Your Life," and where it said, "Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time takes us by the hand, directs us where to go." And that has always really stuck with me, because I mean, you can plan all you want, but we don't know what life has in front of us, and we have to just kind of take what it gives us sometimes, and know where to go with it from there.
Yeah, that is a killer song in regard to how it's written. And especially today, with today's time of life and where things are at right now, it's like that fork in the road, right? That you mentioned, Michael. And so what has this been like for you? Like, how does that translate to you here in the here and now, if you will?
You know, I think like everyone, I have a business plan. I kind of set the road out in front of me where I want to be, what this year's plan is, what the future plans are. But it was when COVID hit, and of course, like all of us in this business or the restaurant business or how many other businesses, we've seen that plan just get thrown out the window. And it was okay. I think it does two things. It makes you adjust, but it also makes you reevaluate in somewhat what's really important, what you can and can't do. I just said to my wife, I think it was last week, like, I mean, the last I looked, my income for this year is probably 1/3 what it's been as the average the last 4 or 5 years. But you know what? I'm just so relaxed. I'm just so chill. I don't know why. Maybe I should be hitting the panic button, but up to this point, we haven't completely drained life savings. We haven't, we been standing outside the Walmarts with the "will work for food" type thing. I mean, we've been able to kind of keep our heads above water type thing. And I think that's really what's important. No, we're not going on any extravagant cruises or anything like that for a vacation this year or whatnot. But, and I'm sure everyone here probably knows someone that has been affected by the whole COVID thing. I mean, it could be worse.
What's COVID?
Yeah. Yes, I had 5 relatives so far that have had it.
Wow.
Anywhere from my daughter to my mother-in-law, and unfortunately, every one of them has survived. But I did have a friend that passed away early on. He got it in March, and he passed away in April. Now, if he got it now, he would have probably survived. They've come across just more answers for it and such like that. Just bad timing all the way around. But yeah, I just think it definitely makes you reevaluate.
It does, and I think what COVID has done. We're turning this into a COVID discussion, but that's okay. We'll get back to the lyrics. But I think what COVID has done for me is allowed me to really take time to work on my business, and also to slow down and appreciate, what I have currently in life.
Oh, sure.
There are a lot of people that are, again, if you have a roof over your head, if you have food in your belly, if you're warm, those are things that I think we often take for granted. And we should. I read on Facebook just today of a DJ who homeless in Florida and trying to find her way.
And this could be either, I don't know, fortunate or unfortunate for you, Mitch, where you just bought the new home and things like that and had redone. You're probably going, boy, if I had known this was going to happen, I would have never made this investment. But I tell you, what a beautiful place you have to reflect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
funny. I would still make it. I would still make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
I would still make that choice. And the reason I would make that choice is going back to what Big Daddy said earlier. Live like you were dying.
Mm-hmm.
Because my friend Eric died of cancer and left behind 2 little boys, and he was one of the major reasons why we decided to pull the trigger, because it was right after he visited us for the last time that I knew he was going to be at my previous home, and I knew it was his last time going to be there because he was not well. He barely survived the drive, 6.5-hour drive home,
Mm-hmm.
Detroit. And so when I knew that, it wasn't 3 weeks later, this house, came into our vision. Yeah, it was certainly part of it. Live like you were dying,
Mm-hmm.
Howie, what are some of the lyrics for you what are some of the songs or lyrics that really stick out to you and have shaped your life?
I'm going to go back to where I started from, when I started, rather, and it has become very popular with the corporate and community clients. And it's a song by the Little River Band, and it's from 1977, and it's Help is on its way. And I do this for the rescue, fire rescue squad, the hospitals, that for mental health people, they bring them there. So I have an uplifting crate, and this one really rings true to me. Just hang on, help is on the way. And I've had to do that myself. I'm a few times during life. Just hang on, help is on the way. And especially right now, I just, I'm a man of science and facts, and I knew that this is our moonshot and that they would find a way. And here we have vaccines on the horizon that could save our summer. And so I'm just hanging on because help is on the way. And I've been playing that since the 70s. And the one group that I do, it's an annual event. And I played that song and they went crazy for it. They claimed it as their own. And now every year, you're going to play our song, aren't you? I said, absolutely, because they're bringing people that are in need of help. The helpers are there, the therapists are there, the doctors are there. It just uplifts everyone, and especially the people in need. And they can say, listen to the lyrics to this song. You're going to be okay. And we are going to be okay. That's my song, and I'm sticking to it.
Love it. I love the fact that you're reminiscing over this too.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Total pun intended.
Never pun intended. Hello. Have they met you yet?
Little River Band is one of those groups that I didn't really come to know about until I'm going to date myself here. But
Cool Change, Reminiscent, great stuff.
Oh,
I was doing radio in the 90s in northern Maine, and had a station that played everything from the 50s to the 90s, including country. And so, that's when that song and came into my rotation. My favorite has to be from them is Cool Change.
Great song.
That was part of Lyrics Live Life By. And
great song.
Because again, I if we've talked before, if you follow me and social or anything, you know that I love cruising. I cut my teeth on Carnival Cruise Lines back in the day as a club DJ. So, being on the water to me is just like, that's where I go to get my peace and to, and that it's just a beautiful thing. And, those lyrics just really speak to me. The lyrics that Glenn wrote for Cool Change. And it's a great track. What other lyrics have shaped your life? Anyone else got something else that they have that has really really spoke to them?
My theme song, "Don't Stop Believing."
Okay,
Good one. Yeah.
great track. What's your favorite song by Journey that was not a hit?
Did
about
Journey
that?
make songs that weren't hits?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple. I'll tell you what, the songs that weren't hits were before Steve Perry joined the band. When it was Neil Schon, Greg Raleigh. The original drummer was Prairie Prince. Nobody knows that, who ended up being with the Tubes. Some of their stuff that they did beforehand was really hard rock, sort of Carlos Santana-esque, 7-minute songs at the very least in some of those albums.
Yeah, they were very much a fusion rock band back then.
Very much. And they just had a documentary about the band, the breakup of the band, before Steve Perry, during Steve Perry, and after Steve Perry. Wow. But my favorite song, and it's I live by "Don't Stop Believing," but "Faithfully" is one of the best songs that they ever did. And I saw Journey live without Steve Perry, and the drummer Dean sang it. Oh, nailed that sucker! And they had in the background buses and stuff with the tour buses and all that stuff. This is the stuff of magic that nobody sees.
You know,
Go ahead.
I play that song, that "Faithfully." That's my go-to first slow song all the time. In the absence of a list, I play that all the time. That, and I know it wasn't written for DJs, but the whole line of, the say the road knows no place to start a family. How's that go? Ain't no place to start a family. Right down the line, it's been you and me. And loving
a music man ain't always what it's supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
If you haven't had the opportunity yet to watch Jonathan Cain talk about writing that song, there's a YouTube video where he talks about how the chords came to him and the lyrics. Like, it was one of those songs that just happened, and it's really cool. Look it up on YouTube.
I love Jonathan.
Really
Cain.
will blow your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And circus life, the term circus life was written about being on tour and the fans. That's where that alluded to.
My opening slow song is "Open Arms." I sing it, so.
That Faithfully is funny, with the whole series I did for Lyrics to Live Life By, I didn't have Faithfully in the list. And ironically enough, that is actually one of my favorite lyrics of all time. Mm-hmm. Michael mentioned it, is loving a music man ain't always what it's supposed to be. Because isn't that so true for us in the profession?
Oh, yeah.
It is.
I mean, we
is.
are an anomaly in a lot of ways in regards to a career. Those of us that have been there, done that, have made this a full-time or a part-time passion. Even if it's part-time passion, you're still devoting full-time hours to a part-time passion. Mm-hmm. And so it's one of those things where it's like your significant other, whoever that is, has to be very understanding of the time.
Patience is a virtue.
And the effort that you put in to this, to really this mistress, honestly.
Yes.
Well,
a lot of divorces from DJs, or a lot of DJs that left the game just because the significant other was like, I just can't do this. I mean, I can't be a weekend widow, and which I am type thing. Yes.
This kind of ties in. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Howie. You're first.
No, I was going to say this ties into my second song, which is by the Electric Light Orchestra, 1981. Hold on tight to your dreams. We need to do that right now. A lot of guys are going away, and relationships are strained. Hold on tight to your dreams.
Love it. The big thing is right now with the relationships, as Michael was talking about, and Mitch and everybody, right now is the time to take advantage of every minute you have with either your significant, any type of family.
Mm-hmm.
For me, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to have to get off because it's FaceTime with the kids up here.
Awesome.
No matter what,
Yep.
take the time to enjoy what you have around you, because next year, whenever we're able to get back out, they're only going to see my back, because that's the way it is. That's the way we're hoping for. Take advantage of the little things that you have in your life right now that are bigger than you think, like your wife. Listen, I sit here and stare at four walls alone. Thank God for FaceTime.
Did you just say your
I
wife is bigger than you think?
What's that?
You say your wife is bigger than you think? That's not very nice.
Oh, I'm going to slap this. Oh, God. Wait, I will travel out to the UP just to slap you and turn around and come home. That's because I love you with all my heart. But, you know, you got to take advantage of everything that you weren't able to before. Take advantage of it now, because we may never have a chance to do it again.
I got to say, I am going to miss Saturday night date night when we get back working, because for 8-9 months now, it's Saturday night date night. We make homemade pizza, we watch a Netflix, and just chill together. And yeah, that's going to go away. I'll be back working. So I'm getting it while I can.
So make Wednesday night date night, whatever.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Again, once you get back into the swing of things, prioritize. Whether it be a Tuesday night, whatever it is, even if it's a couple of hours, just take that time. This, for me, I normally average about 300 events between everything I do a year. This year, 60 total.
It's insane.
60.
Your schedule is insane.
Yeah, but
I love you, but your schedule is insane.
I know. But, and now I took a gig. I'm doing a gig. And Mitch, I told you, I'm doing a gig in front of town hall of my town here. Nobody can get near me. I'm just playing holiday music because they're not allowed to have the holiday villages and all that stuff. Some lady, like 3 ladies in a row, walked up. Can you do this 7 days a week? I said, what? Play music, because this is so much fun. And we love when you make fun of people. Oh, and I do that well. All the people that know me from way back that don't come over to say hello to me. What's the matter? You got too much money for me now? You can't talk to me? Come on.
You know, when Howie made a comment about the Electric Light Orchestra song and Hold On, you know, the other song that really speaks to me that kind of hit the topic we talked about earlier, you know, Live Like You Were Dying, is probably, I'm sure you all know this song, but when was the last time you played this song and listened to the lyrics? The Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics.
Great song. Great song.
Yes.
That song has haunted me since the very first time I heard it.
When my father passed away.
I wasn't there this morning when my father passed away.
But you get to tell them about the things they say. Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about a lyric that just hits you right in the face.
Yeah.
Just throw my heart in the middle of traffic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Guys, I got to run. I got to run. Love you guys very much.
Love you, Big Daddy. Take care.
Yeah.
Take care, Big Daddy.
All right. So Big Daddy's out. We kind of going around the horn here for more songs that kind of just stick out to you and have shaped your life and really been something you lived life by. Howie gave us 2, and his were Hold On, Electric Light Orchestra. And give me the second one again, Howie.
It was Hold On Tight to Your Dreams.
Hold On Tight to Your Dreams. And then it was
Dreams. And Help Is on the Way, Little River Band, 1977.
Very good.
Yeah.
Michael Lenstra, do you have another one?
Well, Faithfully was the one I was going to bring up, but Big Daddy
Big Daddy stole your thunder.
Oh. I also like songs or lyrics that just, I don't know if they paint a picture or they make you kind of wonder what they mean, what the mean. And I guess that was the Anna Nalick song that I was telling you about, Breathe. The lyric of life's like an hourglass glued to the table. I just think is just, it just makes you think. What was the one from Edward McCain? I'll be, and there was the lyric in there that, rain falls angry on the tin roof as we lie awake in our bed. And that has just always stuck with me. I mean, because you can almost hear the rain, and what's the rain telling you? Is there
a metaphor there?
Yes. And
I just remember hearing the strands in your eyes color them wonderful, and I was just like, yeah. I'm learning that. I got to be able to sing that. That song is so cool.
Mm-hmm. The Breathe track, going back to that "Life's like an hourglass glued to the table" lyric. Isn't that so true?
Yes.
It's glued to the table. In other words, you can't do jack about it. Because it's true. It's so true. That song was I believe a one-hit wonder. I don't recall any other hits that she had.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard from her.
Yeah. I don't think so either. Nothing else jumps to me. Sean, do you have another one you want to go on the horn with?
Yeah, I've always had "Change the World" by Eric Clapton. Has really stuck with me. Just the whole, if I could reach the stars and pull one down for you, like, wow, the level that you would go to change the world for somebody. What level would I go to change the world for somebody else? I just thought that was huge. I love the guitar lick in that too.
It's a great track. What was that from? What movie was that from? Phenomenon? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. The first time I heard it was in college. We did it for a production that we were putting on stage, a cabaret performance. And I was just like, that's cool. If I could change the world, I would be the sunlight in your universe. Like wow.
That's very powerful. Clapton, Slow Hand was, I think, one of the underrated artists of his time. I think, he's very, very eclectic in his style and in what he brought to the table, and from Cream all the way up to his solo career and, everything else. Just had a very thorough library, of talent and what he brought to the table. And then, of course, the acoustic album with Layla and everything else that he brought in the 90s there too. It was great. So
I think it's amazing how powerful music can be to construct your life. Because like for him, he wrote Tears in Heaven, and that was to mourn the loss of his son, right?
Yep.
And he won't play that anymore, or at least he didn't for a long time, because he said that's a time in my life that is past. And I look at songs like Heavy that came out by Linkin Park right before Chester died, and you look at the lyrics and you go, wow, like he was screaming for help to the whole world. The whole world could see it, and you can feel it with these songs and the power that they have, but just nothing happens. And that's why I thought it was so cool that you did this, Mitch.
The power of music is just amazing at what it can move you to do. And there's another whole conversation right down the road of, and I remember when, early rap music came out and people were complaining about how it was going to ruin our kids and ruin the next generation of life with the, we all remember that the tag on the CDs of the album, parental advisory, explicit lyrics, right? Remember that black and white tag? I'm sure we all have seen that before and bought.
Remember?
What'd you say, Mike?
Remember albums.
Get 12 CDs for the price of one.
CDs for a penny. Totally.
When I was a kid, my mom took my CDs away from me, and hid them up in the cupboard because they had that. My brother went and I went in with a razor blade and we split it and took the discs out and then double stick taped them back together. They sat up there. She gave them back to me when I was in high school. And I opened it up and I go, Mom, I've had this for 10 years. She wasn't happy.
I'm sure she wasn't. So let's go there. This is fun. What was that album for you?
Eminem, Marshall Mathers.
Oh God,
LP.
You're so young compared to us.
Yeah. When you were doing the radio in the 90s, I was doing diapers and
Exactly. Oh, it's hilarious. So your album was it Eminem? Like, which album was that? Was that the original 1999?
No, it was his second. It was
The Marshall Mathers LP?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really old. Holy heavens.
Yeah. In 99, I think I was 10. 10 or 11, yeah.
Wow.
99, I was married for a year. Crazy. And working in Metro Detroit. So it was the Marshall Mathers LP for Sean. What was it for Howie?
The album?
What was the album that was the parental lyrics? You know, the one that you shouldn't be listening to, that you were.
I know my mom was very shocked when I got the Rolling Stones Hot Rocks Greatest Hits album. That was like the very first of their greatest hits album. That was from 66 or 64 to 71.
Yeah.
71. And some of the songs on that, she was like, you can't listen to that. You know, my mom, I'm a recovering Baptist. Usually gets a big laugh in a large crowd, but yeah,
I was laughing. I just was silently laughing.
It's just that kind. I'm not kidding. I mean, I had to go every Wednesday to prayer meeting, and Sundays to church, and so this was that was some pretty scandalous stuff to listen to, especially being that I was like 11, 12 years old.
How come you taste so good?
Yeah. You know too much.
So Hot Rocks, the 2 CD greatest hits set.
Yes, it was.
CDs probably for Howie back then. It was it vinyl? Was it cassettes? What was it?
It was an 8-track.
8-track. There you go. See?
Yeah. Yep.
My dad had an 8-track player, and we gosh, I remember that 8-track player in his den. Crazy what he had for 8 tracks back then.
Probably.
Well, I did own it. I did own everything afterwards. So I had it on vinyl and so forth and so on. And then for a while it was out of print.
Yep.
Because they had come up with the new greatest hits. And now you can find it on Amazon. They had the made to order CDs.
Sure.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Mike? What was that Parallel Advisory explicit lyrics?
This probably wasn't shocking for the language or whatever, but in my day, when we came home with the Kiss Alive album, and it was like, what is with those freaks? I mean, the parents were just like, oh my God. And if I remember right, I never heard of Kiss before that. Until Rock and Roll All Night, Party Every Day, the live version was being played on the radio, and got the album. And I mean, were they a thing before that album? I just don't remember that. Peter Frampton.
Go ahead.
Peter Frampton the same way. Frampton Comes Alive, which is still my all-time favorite album. Just love that album today. But I know he was in some bands like Animal, in the 60s, but I don't ever remember hearing anything from Peter Frampton, at least on commercial radio, until Frampton Comes Alive.
Right.
And then it was the hugest thing. Yes. But
That was probably the biggest album he did, I think.
I think it was like only big. Yeah, I think it was only really big album. And I think he had a follow-up that produced a couple singles, maybe top 10 singles, but just never matched the magic. And then he kind of faded off into the sunset type thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, back in my teenage days, and I was, I'm a 1977 graduate, so you can do the math from there. But yes, Kiss back in the 70s was shocking. But doesn't that seem like every generation has a shocking? Elvis was shocking. The Beatles with that mop top hair, and oh my gosh, I mean that was just totally out of the norm. And followed by Kiss, and then the new wave, and then into rap. I mean, every generation has their shocking artist of the time or whatever.
Well, maybe attempts to be shocking. For me, I'm not shocked because it's been happening since the 50s,
Yep.
So to me, it's just, it's more of, I look at it as a gimmick. It's just like this Cardi B song that we won't mention. It's just like, hey, I have no talent. I'm going to say these words and, people will pay attention to me, okay, big deal. Like, will it have legs? No.
No.
I don't think
so. That's not a song that you're going to be playing 10 years from now.
No, nobody, they'll forget all about it. Just like 1996 with Little Kim, where she had that with the P word in it, and nobody ever requests that song. It was shocking in 96, and it's forgotten.
Yeah.
Well, the one for me was riding, I should say, in my friend at the time's parents' 1991 Dodge Dynasty.
Oh my.
And we rolled out from our little rural town of Dexter, Maine, of population 7,000 people. And we thought we were cool because we could go a half hour away to Newport, Maine, where they had a McDonald's. We didn't have McDonald's in our little podunk town. And we rolled into on the street, down there, driving along 55 miles an hour on the road or whatever, and we bumped in the cassette deck of the car. We would bump Two Live Crew.
Oh, okay.
And that was our parental advisory explicit lyrics experience with I don't know what I could say on here, John.
Did they throw it out the window on you?
I think I could say Me So Horny. I think I could at least go there, among other tracks on. If you need to bleep me, John, go ahead. I don't care. But there were plenty of them, that were like that. And man, we like wore that album out.
Mm-hmm.
But again, is that really affecting our youth? I mean, Sean grew up listening to Eminem talking about a Rottweiler dog and, barking his collar and, those lyrics on that album. And, for Mike, it was the pain of Kiss and the lyrics of, Deuce and Strutter and all those, right? And I don't know. I think music is powerful, but it takes us back to that place. It takes us back to that time in our lives that we had. But I don't know if it truly shapes someone to do something. Does that make sense?
I think to shape somebody to do something, it has to be really, really powerful and really good.
Yeah.
Because like you said, listen to Eminem, like there's things that we knew were wrong and that we couldn't just do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other things like songs like Faithfully or It Won't Be Like This for Long or even Live Like You're Dying, where I think those messages can create change.
I agree. I think other things were just music, and then there were things that did shape us. Yeah, I agree. That's
you
a good thought.
Do you guys remember the Columbine shooting, of course, and then tried to tie that in with Marilyn Manson?
Yeah.
You remember that they said, these killers, and they listened to Marilyn Manson? Did you ever catch that interview that they had with Marilyn Manson then? I think it was on, what was the documentary?
Wasn't it on ABC? Was it on ABC?
It was the one that I saw, Mitch, was with, what's the documentary guy? Dang, I can't think of it. Bowling for Columbine. He directed Bowling for Columbine.
Okay.
It escapes me. But he had a bit of an interview with Marilyn Manson, and then how they were trying to tie his lyrics as kind of, inspiring these two guys. And they talked to him a little bit, and they said to him as they were interviewing him, they said, "What would you have said to these two?" And he gave the most powerful answer I think I ever heard. He said, "I wouldn't have said anything. I would have listened." And I thought that was, wow, that is really good.
I did. And the same thing with, Catcher in the Rye. Who hasn't read that book? I didn't go out and shoot anybody. I mean, it's, those are just anomalies. And there are things that it's like, hey, it's just a book. It's just a book. It's just fiction. It's just a song. But there are some things that really do touch me. And, as, free thinking adults, and even in our adolescence, we knew right from wrong, as you said before, and some stuff was just like, okay, it's just music. It's fun. I remember everybody remember playing Moni Moni, and you would pull the slider down and everybody would yell out, the curse words. I don't even know where that ever came from. But that was a thing for a while. And that time has passed, but it was just a song, and it was just.
I have him scream, "Hey, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck." That's what I have him scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is not what they scream in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I went in Wisconsin and scream, "Hey, Moni Moni, get a job, buy a truck."
I still remember being at an event and my friend Brad Hansen, Mitch, Brad.
I know Brad.
Tried getting him to scream something different, and he's like, "No, it's this, on the mic," and they just they screamed louder.
Oh goodness. We talked about songs that are powerful, songs that made us change our mindset. We talked for the good or bad, right? We talked about the bad with Columbine and Marilyn Manson. I love that quote, Mike. That was awesome. I think we'll do one more round here, and I'm going to leave with this. What song made you change your mind about something for the good? Is there a song that's made you change your mind for the good? Anyone?
I would say Tom Cochrane, "Life is a Highway. I want to ride it all night long."
Okay. 1993 from his Mad Mad World CD.
Yes, indeed.
And what about that song, Howie?
Well, maybe not everybody. Most people know I ride Harleys, and I have Lou Reed's first Harley. I bought it from him.
Oh, wow.
And
that's impressive.
I used to hang around with him, and when I heard that song, I had to take a ride on the Harley at night, and I went on the longest ride, and that song it was an earworm for me. And just being on the Harley out in the country late at night and just being with myself and my own thoughts was very, very powerful.
Cool. Sean,
Go ahead, Mike.
It would change my mind, but this is a true story. when I got into the DJ business, it was kind of funny. At that time, I did live theater for years and years. I was behind a light board. And then I ended up getting into the DJ business. And the guy that took me out the first night, I was basically the help setup guy and take requests and things like that. And I remember going to him, you're going to laugh at this, but people were coming up and requesting. I haven't really done a lot with music in years. And I kept going and going, they want some Darth guy. Garth Brooks. Had no idea who Garth Brooks was, but the song that they were asking for was Friends of Low Places. And when I heard that, it was like kabang. I mean, I had no love for country music at all at that time, but literally I went out and I bought a CD. Actually, we were still doing vinyl at the time, and I still have Garth Brooks' original vinyl album. The original vinyl that had awesome. If Tomorrow Never Comes in the Dance on it. Yes, last I looked it up, it's worth like $150 now, but I'm not ever go. But yes, but I don't know if we'd say it would change my mind, but it definitely changed my opinion of country music from that point on.
I'd blame it all on your roots. That's what I would do.
Good one.
All right, Sean, what do you got?
I got to circle back to Heavy by Linkin Park.
Okay.
Because it's not necessarily the message in it, but what happened with the circumstance of this song being released, seeing it, because like the chorus, if you don't know it, is I'm holding on. Why is everything so heavy? Holding on, there's so much more than I can carry. And he's talking about how life is so hard and he doesn't like his life right now. And I reflected on that song and I just thought, wow, he's got pain. He's got so much that he has to deal with and live with. And he's doing well. He's, super successful. And I always had this mentality of when I do this much with my business, when I get to this point, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to feel good and satisfied. And this song for me, and then ultimately Chester choosing to let go by ending his life, made me let go of the baggage that I was carrying. Why do I need to show up for all these other people? Why do I need to try to carry this weight that isn't necessary? I'm not that important. And I kind of let go and started looking at my business and my life from a perspective of what do I want to carry? What do I want to do? And so I started moving at that point. And that was huge when that came out. I remember listening to it and thinking, wow, that's Linkin Park, because it's so different. And just reflected on it. And then, Chester committed suicide, and then I just sat back and reflected on it. I lost a friend to suicide as well in that time period, and it was such a big wake-up call for me, and it started with that, looking back at it.
The song for me that probably changed me for the good, I think our teenage years are very formative, right? And you're learning about the outside world beyond your family circle, your sphere, if you will. And especially if you grew up in a rural town like I did. I grew up in a log cabin in a town of 450 people, small. And I was dating a black girl at the time. I was second year in college. And I believe Blessed Union of Souls came out. And that song, to me, with the story told in the song about, dating someone outside of your race and the racial tensions at the time of the early to mid 90s that was existing in Los Angeles with the riots and everything else, it just really push me as a person to grow beyond my shell of little rural Maine, to realize the world is so much bigger and there's so many different people of all different ethnicities that are out there. but yet we're all the same. Like there is no color, or there should be no color. You know, we all have our heritage, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock that at all. But it's just, you know, you have to love your fellow man or woman regardless. And that, you know, I saw the prejudice that existed from me dating a black girl at the time, and it was a eye-opening experience. So that song has always struck me, spoke to me, and it changed me for the good in that way. So it is about time to wrap up our DJNTV chill room here tonight. I want to thank Howie and Mike Lenstra and Sean Carlson and Big Daddy for joining me here. And we will be back again next Monday night for our chill room. And I want to thank John Young and Disc Jockey News TV for having me. And thanks for joining us for this DJNTV room chill session.